2006-72, we've got the 12-box break. Series 1, Series 2. And again, we'll read everything out. We'll try to make this as smooth and quick as possible. But good luck, everyone. We start off for the Ottawa Senators canvas of Stützle, A-line Sparkle for Boston, and a gaming of Draisaitl for the Oilers. Sparkle for the Winnipeg Jets of Hellebuck, Young Guns for Vegas of Bryson, and a Satellite of Robertson for Dallas. Gaming Sparkle of Matthews for the Leafs, a PvP, that'll be a rando, and a Ovechkin checkpoint for the Caps. City Satellite of Caulfield, Montreal, Goncalves, Young Guns for Tampa, and a Pedersen aimbot for Vancouver. Breaking news of Suter for Dallas, gaming of Kucherov for Tampa, checkpoint of McAvoy for Boston. Dazzlers for Minnesota, Rossi, Zuccarello canvas for Minnesota, and a gaming XP of Nylander for the Leafs. Canvas of Girard for the Avs, Station for the Maple Leafs, renewed, and a Young Guns for Anaheim, Cutter Gauthier. Breaking news of Jari for Pittsburgh, gaming co-op for Florida, and a Portraits for Vancouver of Pedersen. We've got a renewed for the Islanders of Brock Nelson, Graf Young Guns for the Sharks, Satellites for the Coyotes of Keller. Dazzlers pink variant of Bobrovsky for Florida, canvas of Caulfield, Montreal, and for the Chicago Blackhawks, Del Mastro Young Guns. Outburst Silver, Robertson for Dallas, gaming PvP, which would be a rando, and a Portrait of Jack Hughes for the Devils. We've got a renewed of Getzlaf for the Ducks, Kuznetsov Young Guns for Minnesota, aimbots of Verhaeghe for Florida. All right. We've got a canvas of Fox for the Rangers, breaking news Tavares for the Leafs, and a gaming of Tkachuk for Ottawa. City Satellite Sparkle, Crosby Penguins, Brazo for Boston Young Guns, and a Satellite of Aho for Carolina. Canvas of DeBrincat for the Red Wings, Dustin Brown renewed for LA Young Guns, Lane Hudson for Montreal. Congrats. I recommend getting that one graded. Gaming co-op for the Rangers Sparkle, PvP. Checkpoint for Anaheim, Mintyukov. A-Lions for the Red Wings, gaming of Islanders, and a Marner Portraits for the Maple Leafs. Dazzlers of Brock Nelson for the Islanders, canvas of Hurdle for the Sharks, gaming XP of Hughes for Vancouver. You got it? We got a renewed for LA of Toffoli, Crozier Young Guns for Tampa, and a Portraits for the Rangers of Kreider. Huh? Just anywhere. Breaking news for Anaheim Zegras, gaming for LA of Kopitar, and a checkpoint of Austin Watson for Tampa. Deluxe number to 250 for the Rangers of Kreider, Malatesta for the Blue Jackets Young Guns, Aimbots of Rantanen for Colorado. Black and white canvas of Sharon Govich for Calgary. We've got a canvas of Aiden Hill for Vegas and a Lilleberg for the Tampa Bay Lightning Young Guns. Outburst of Trocheck for the Rangers, Gaming Rando, and a portrait of Reinhardt for Florida. Renewed of Logan Couture for San Jose, Matt Rempe for the Rangers Young Guns, and an aimbot of McCowan for Seattle. All right. Box 3. All right, let's keep it going. That was a Rangers box, yeah. We got a canvas of Morrissey for the Jets, breaking news Duchesne for Dallas, and a gaming for the Blues of Robert Thomas. Portrait Sparkle for the Islanders of Dobson, Slaggard Young Guns for Chicago, and a Bedard Satellites for Chicago. Canvas for Nashville Novak, Zibanejad renewed for Ottawa, and a Nadeau for Carolina Young Guns. We got a Gaming Co-op Sparkle for Tampa, Gaming which will be a random. Checkpoint for the Rangers of VC. Dazzlers Marner for the Leafs, Luke Hughes for the Devils canvas, and a Sveshnikov Gaming for Carolina. Breaking news for Calgary of Uyghur, Gaming for LA, and a portrait of Pasternak for Boston. We got a renewed for Dallas of Jamie Benn, Joshua Waugh Young Guns for Montreal, and a Satellites of Caulfield for Montreal. Deluxe number to 250, Marner for the Leafs, Lambert for the Winnipeg Jets Young Guns, and a Matthew Tkachuk Aimbots for Florida. A-Lines for Philadelphia, a gaming of Marchenko for the Jackets, and a checkpoint for Seattle of Borgen. We got a clear base of Marner for the Leafs, canvas of Kane for the Oilers, and a Crotty Young Guns for the Coyotes. Outburst Silver for the Rangers of Lafreniere, gaming random, and a portrait of Bedard for Chicago. We got a Tim Thomas renewed for Boston, Morelli for Vegas Young Guns, aimbots of Braden Point for Tampa. Tampa Bay. All right. Halfway through the Series 1 portion. We've got a Islanders Dobson canvas, breaking news McKinnon for the Avs, and a gaming for the St. Louis Blues. Checkpoint Sparkle of McNabb for the Knights. We got a Young Guns of Morrow for Carolina, and a Satellites of Nazem Kadri for Calgary. XP Sparkle, Hedman Tampa, XP of Pasternak for Boston, and a checkpoint for the Oilers of Desharnais. Dazzlers for the Red Wings of Larkin, Darlene for Buffalo Canvas, and a gaming PvP. We got a canvas of Stone for Vegas, Nashville renewed Young Guns of Yossi, Maverick Bork Young Guns for Dallas. Renewed Marchand for Boston, Ogren Young Guns for Minnesota, and a Jesper Bratt portraits for the Devils. Breaking news, Kopitar LA, gaming for the Rangers Panarin. Portrait of Demko for Vancouver. Ooh, very nice. Breaking news of Bobby McMahon for the Leafs. Gaming for the Devils. Checkpoint of Cousins for Florida. Population count 25. William Nylander. Well, that is definitely one of the lower numbered ones to get. We got number to 100 exclusives of Barkov for Florida. Pollen for the Avalanche Young Guns. And an Aimbots Crosby for the Penguins. Gaming blue of Forsberg for Nashville. Young Guns canvas for San Jose of Mukhamadullin. And a Young Guns of Malatesta for the Blue Jackets. Outburst silver of Samoskevich for Florida. Gaming of Draisaitl for the Oilers. And a Kaprizov portraits for Minnesota. Ranu TJ Oshie for the Blues. Ishikov for the Islanders Young Guns. Aimbots of Kaprizov. Don't underestimate last spot, yeah. It's at 4 now? Sweet. Again, guys, I see I got a few emails. I do not know if any of them are EMTs or not, so I will do that as soon as I'm done this. But I do appreciate you guys grabbing spots. We've got a breaking news of Nemec for the Devils. Gaming of Ovechkin for the Capitals. Checkpoint, Brock Faber for Minnesota. Black and white canvas, Makar for the Avs. Young Guns canvas of Lambert for Winnipeg. And an Ogren Young Guns for Minnesota. Ooh, nice. XP Kucherov for Tampa. Portraits of Hedman for Tampa. And a Young Guns outburst for the Rangers, Hoffman. Young Guns outburst. We've got a renewed of Huberdeau for Florida. Nadeau for Carolina Young Guns. And an Aimbots of Kempe for LA. We've got a population count 500, Braden Point. Lambert Young Guns for the Jets. And an Aimbots of Kyle Connor for the Jets. New Jersey canvas of Nemec. A-Lines for Vegas. And a gaming of McKinnon for the Avs. Breaking news, McDavid Oilers. Gaming for Vegas. And a portraits, Caulfield for Montreal. Renewed of Semen for Washington. Young Guns of Doan for the Coyotes. And an Aimbots of McKinnon for the Avs. Dazzlers for the Oilers, Bouchard. Canvas of Sharangovich for the Flames. And an XP of Crosby for the Penguins. Renewed Kreider for the Rangers. Refi for the Maple Leafs. Young Guns, and a satellite of Pasternak for Boston. Clear base for the Rangers of Lafreniere. Nylander canvas for the Maple Leafs. And a Del Bellbaluz for the Blue Jackets Young Guns. Outburst silver of Wolf for the Maple Leafs. Random gaming, and a portraits of Konechny for Philly. Well, Fire, that's exactly what we were talking about earlier, right? How everyone does it differently. Like, that's, again, you're paying, I don't mind it at all, but you're obviously paying more to get a shot at that, which is cool. Yeah, technically, I can't remember if I gave a time limit on that one, Michael, but I probably will say for tonight. I feel like I did give a time limit on that one, but I will still allow that for tonight, just because. We've got a canvas for the Flyers of Farabee. A-Lines for the Panthers. and a gaming co-op of Montreal. Aimbot Sparkle for the Devils of Hughes. Offman for the Rangers Young Guns. And a Satellites of Kachuk for Florida. You like everyone wins? What do you mean by that? Sorry. Gaming Sparkle or random. XP of Brett for the Devils. Evander Kane for the Oilers. Like you would split that between everybody. Canvas of Kyrou for the Blues. Renewed of Backstrom for the Caps. And a Stankoven for Dallas Young Guns. Dazzlers Jari for the Penguins. Canvas of the Flyers. And a Gaming PvP, which will be a rando. Breaking news, Korchinski for Chicago. Gaming for the Red Wings of Larkin. And a Portraits of McKinnon for the Avs. Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah. Deluxe of Bennington for the Blues, a 250. San Jose Young Guns of Mukama Doolin. And a Konechny for Philly. Well, the other thing, Floor, normally when we do giveaways, renewed of Ryan O'Reilly for the Avs. Wallsteed for Minnesota Young Guns. And a Satellites for Pittsburgh of Crosby. We try to have as many winners as possible, right? I like that concept. Breaking news, Fleury for Minnesota. Gaming of Minnesota. And a checkpoint for the Rangers of Schneider. We've got a clear-cut Young Guns, Maverick Bork for Dallas. But I can understand why people like the other way, right? Bigger prize. One person wins something bigger. Bolduc Young Guns for the Blues, canvas. And a Fedotov for Philadelphia Young Guns. Holy moly, this box. Young Guns Outburst Silver for San Jose Mook Hamadulin. San Jose. XP of Caulfield Montreal. And a Swayman for Boston Portraits. Renewed a Pavelski for the Sharks. Ostapchuk for Ottawa Young Guns. And a Scheifele for the Jets. Well, here's the other, I would be curious your guys' opinion, so please be honest. Would you rather us do things like that in the future? Obviously, spots will be, have to be incorporated, so there'll be a bit more money. But would you rather us try things like that? So again, you'd pay a bit more, or a decent amount more, but you have a shot at something cool. What do you guys think? We've got an Outburst Silver for Tampa Bay of Glendening. Young Guns of Scanlon for the Rangers. Electricity for Dallas of Johnston. Young Guns Canvas for the Avalanche of Kovalenko. Svechnikov renewed for Carolina. And an On Tour for Minnesota. You don't need to pay more. Bang of Pettersson for Vancouver. Kovalenko Young Guns for the Avs. Welcome aboard of Offman for the Rangers. Welcome aboard Sparkle of Luchenko for Philadelphia. Miss Yule Young Guns for the Devils. And an Olala of Demko for Vancouver. Black and white canvas Young Guns of Blomqvist for Pittsburgh. Sparkle of Bryson for Vegas. And a playlist of Pasternak for Boston. So you got to think that's $20 more fire than our spot. And that's times 32. So that's $640 more on one case alone. On a heater of Nylander for the Leafs. Mishkov Young Guns for Philly. Electricity Bedard for Chicago. So do you value that much more? Canvas of Lindholm for Boston. Renewed of Kucherov Tampa. And a bang of Jack Eye for Montreal. We've got a canvas of Burns for Carolina. On a heater Malkin for Pittsburgh. And a electricity of Aho for Carolina. Portraits of Makar for the Avs. The Young Guns of Blomqvist for Pittsburgh. Stan Coven, welcome aboard for Dallas. Like, how many of you guys prefer that out of curiosity? Deluxe, which would be a random between Carolina and Ottawa. Dazzlers, Vasilevsky, Tampa. Renewed for Boston, McAvoy. On tour, Montreal. Romanov for San Jose Young Guns. Oh la la for Minnesota of Fleury. Canvas of Seth Jones, Chicago. Portrait Stan Coven for Dallas. And a Draisaitl for the Oilers. Once again, Floor, we got to make sure all the payments are coming in, just so you know. I have to double check everything. No, Golden, I understand it. I understand how it goes. My point is do you think that is a small enough amount for a big enough return that you guys would want to do that? We got a canvas of Bjorkstrand for Seattle, renewed of Teravainen for Chicago, and a portrait for the Oilers of McDavid. Because the way I look at it is if we did 10 cases and didn't get one of them, right, you're basically paying an extra $6,500. On tour for Philadelphia, Young Guns of Steinberg for the Avs, Electricity of Dahlin for Buffalo. But obviously if you win, it's a glorious thing. Clear cut base of Balinskis for Florida. On a heater sparkle of Matthews. Oh la la for the Blues of Binnington. You're cheap. Portrait of Gauthier for Anaheim. Kolosov for Philadelphia Young Guns. Playlist of McDavid for the Oilers. Like, I see both. Canvas of Cider for the Red Wings. On a heater of Kane for the Red Wings. And a welcome aboard of Smith for the Sharks. So here's my opinion, though. If it's only 1,000 in the beginning, I don't feel like it's enough to pay an extra $650 to do that, right? For one case, because your odds of getting a shield are pretty damn rare. Kachuk canvas for Florida, renewed of Point for Tampa, and a bang of Carlson for Pittsburgh. Portrait of Mukamadulin for San Jose, Koch Young Guns for Utah, and a Lindgren for Washington. Oh la la. Oh la la sparkle of Gibson for the Ducks. Mancini for the Rangers Young Guns. Electricity of McCann for Seattle. Deluxe number to 250 of Carconi for the Coyotes. Neighbors Dazzlers for the Blues. And a renewed of Quinn Hughes for Vancouver. On tour, Blue Jackets. We got the Teammates Young Guns Philadelphia. And Electricity of Thomas for the Blues. We got a canvas of Kadri for Calgary, on tour for Vegas, and a playlist for the Avalanche of McKinnon. Like, I like both ways. I don't think there's a wrong way. For Buffalo, Outburst Silver Samuelson, Geeky Young Guns for Tampa, and an Oh La La of Vasilevsky for Tampa. Like, I think you're pleasing the people who want to pay a little bit more. And the gamble element, which is fun. It adds a nice little element to it. But obviously, if you're only after the best deal, then you're not pleasing those people. The other thing is, I think it's got to be relative of how much extra it is, right? Like, if you're paying, just say, $600 to $1,000 more, and you're only getting 1,000, well, it's not really that overall great of a combo for the consumer. Young Guns canvas of Johansson for Detroit. Now, if you win, obviously, you'll be happy. Renewed of Raymond for the Red Wings and an on a heater of Terry for the Ducks. But I'm glad someone got it, though. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. We got a bang of Parayko for the Blues. Cooley for the Sharks Young Guns. Oh La La for Vancouver of Demko. We got a clear-cut base for Philadelphia Cam York. On tour Sparkle of Calgary Flames. Electricity of Aho for Carolina. Canvas of Verhaeghe for Florida. Portraits of Ovechkin for Washington. Draisaitl playlist for the Oilers. Portraits of Zellweger for Anaheim. We got a Young Guns, which will be a random Mishkov Celebrini, and a Stankoven welcome aboard for Dallas. Yeah, I love the concept of it, I will say. On tour, Pittsburgh, Boosie Young Guns for Boston, and a Kopitar for LA Electricity. Canvas of Binnington for the Blues, a renewed of Eichel for Buffalo, on tour for Carolina Hurricanes. On tour, black variant of the Blue Jackets, Dazzlers of Tippett for Philly, and a Barzal for the Islanders Young Guns. We got Electricity Sparkle of Kachuk for Florida. We got a Kemp Young Guns for the Oilers and an Olala for Minnesota of Fleury. So, Fire, you like a guarantee giveaway. That's what I'm guessing, right? Portraits of Geeky for Tampa. Zuber Young Guns for Utah. Olala for Florida of Bobrovsky. We've got a canvas of DeMello for Winnipeg. On tour for Dallas. And a welcome aboard Lane Hudson for Montreal. Outburst Silver for the Blue Jackets, Corrali. Young Guns of Richie for the Avs. Oh la la for the Islanders of Sorokin. Yeah. So Michael basically just goes right back into them, right? Which is smart as well, so. As I said, everyone's got their own different things. Different strategies, different people. There's no right or wrong. Whatever people like. We've got a canvas of Brian Leach for the Rangers, so that's a retro. Renewed of Pettersson for Vancouver, and a San Jose on tour. We got a Portraits for the Red Wings of Larkin, Morrison for Seattle Young Guns, Playlist for the Maple Leafs, Austin Matthews. Canvas black and white variant of Luukkonen for Buffalo. On tour Sparkle for Tampa. And a welcome aboard of KC for the Devils. Welcome aboard Sparkle Bolduc for the Blues. Ratty for Utah Young Guns. And the Electricity of Forsberg for Nashville. Welcome aboard Kaprizov, Minnesota. Portraits of Casey for the Devils. Oh la la of Omar for Boston. Bang of Morrissey for the Jets. Lee for the LA Kings Young Guns. Oh la la of Merzlikins for the Blue Jackets. On tour Florida. Gills Young Guns for Florida. Electricity of Wyatt Johnson for Dallas. Population count 1,000 for the Blues of Dean. Thompson for Buffalo Dazzlers. Renewed for Boston of David Pasternak. Canvas of Drysdale for the Flyers. Renewed of Thompson for the Blues. And an on a heater of Thomas for the Blues. Oh, Michael, yeah, there's no right or wrong on these, right? On tour for Winnipeg. We got a Young Guns checklist, or whatever it is, for Montreal. And an Othman welcome aboard for the Rangers. Hagel canvas for Tampa. Hedman Bang for Tampa. And a playlist of Pasternak for Boston. We got a Toropchenko for the Blues. Outburst Silver. McGroarty for Pittsburgh Young Guns. Electricity of Bedard. Floor, what do you mean? They do number them. You talking about, like, physically numbering them or stated print? Just so I know what you're asking. Oh. Yeah, I'm sure there's more of an added cost to them, and I think they probably felt like it wasn't really a necessity to have individualized numbers for them, right? If I had to guess. Bang for Washington of Ovechkin. Philp Young Guns for the Oilers. Electricity of Point for Tampa. We got a canvas for Vancouver. Heronic on a heater of Eichel for Vegas. And a welcome aboard for the Flyers of Cutter Gauthier. Canvas of Matheson for Montreal. Nietzsche's for Carolina renewed. And a Lane Hudson portraits for Montreal. Outburst Silver for Buffalo of Greenway. Celebrini. Young Guns for San Jose. And an Olala of Hill for Vegas. Well, there we go. We got a canvas of Heischer for the Devils, on tour for the Islanders, and a playlist of Crosby for the Penguins. We got number to 100, Myers for Vancouver exclusives, Bang of Darlene for Buffalo, Kapanen Young Guns for Montreal, and a playlist for Chicago of Bedard. We got a fluorescence for Carolina of Morrow, a Bang Sparkle of Kapanen for the Blues, and a Vonacek Olala for the Devils. On tour Seattle, Cardwell for the Sharks Young Guns, and a Minnesota Wild Gustafson Olala. On a heater, McKinnon for the Avs, Hallinan for the Devils Young Guns. Welcome aboard, Geeky for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Number to 250 deluxe for LA of, who is that? Sorry, Anderson. There we go. Dazzlers for Tampa of Hedman. Renewed of Brady Tkachuk for Ottawa. Canvas of Zetterland for the Sharks. Konechny renewed for Philly. And a Melu for Montreal portraits. Oh La La Sparkle of Anderson for Carolina. Jason Blake Young Guns for Carolina. Or Jackson, sorry. And a Tkachuk for Ottawa. Electricity. All right. Yeah, the design is to make it look like a graded card. That's the whole point of the population count. Kind of a tip of the hat to PSA on the pops. We've got a canvas of Peterka for Buffalo, on tour for the Red Wings, and a playlist Quinn Hughes for Vancouver. Portraits for Vancouver of Quinn Hughes, Casey Young Guns for the Devils, and a McGroarty welcome aboard for Pittsburgh. On tour black variant for Vegas, Dazzlers of Doan for Utah, renewed for the Oilers of Draisaitl. Canvas Young Guns for Calgary of Honzik, renewed for the Red Wings of Cider, on tour for the Blues. On tour for the Rangers, Young Guns of Blomqvist for Pittsburgh, Electricity Marchand for Boston. Portraits of Dean for the Blues, Ms. Yule for the Devils Young Guns, Maverick Bork, welcome aboard for Dallas. Fluorescence for the Sharks, Mukama Doolin. Portrait Sparkle of Draisaitl for the Oilers, and a Georgiev for the Avalanche. Oh la la. Canvas of Morgan Riley for the Leafs, Adam Fox renewed for the Rangers, and an Ogren Portraits for Minnesota. Welcome aboard Sparkle of Bork for the Stars. Romanov for the Sharks Young Guns. Oh la la for the Winnipeg Jets of Hellbuck. Bang of Sanheim for Philly. Ponomarov for Carolina Young Guns. Oh la la for Philadelphia of Urson. Canvas of Jenner for the Jackets, on a heater of Johnson for Dallas. And a Zegras for Anaheim. Electricity. We got another Outburst Silver random between Tkachuk and Aho. Young Guns of LaRue for Nashville. Oh la la for Buffalo of Luukkonen. All right, we got the simple left and the right to do. So here we go. Give me 1 second. Three times. 1, 2, 3. The right side will get them all.